Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Gaby U show. Today, I have an amazing guest, Samantha Stokes. And so, before we get deep into our discussion today, I will be introducing some things. I'll let you guys know some things about her. And I am Gaby. I am the host of the Gaby U show. So, let me tell you some things about Samantha. Samantha Stokes was an ICU nurse for 10 years and now is doing healthcare differently. She had all the faith in Western medicine until she was faced with autoimmune diseases that now changed her study to holistic nutrition. She believes herbs and nutrition have saved her and her family lives, and she believes that if more families could hear stories like hers, it could maybe give them hope that they too can restore health to their families so that they can live happy lives. And here is Samantha Stokes. Welcome, Samantha, to the Gaby U show.
Thank you. Thank you, Gaby. That was so sweet. Makes me tear up when I hear, just hear people talk about it. But yeah, thank you so much for having me, and it's an honor.
Yes, I know it feels like that. I love a lot of my guests when they do come to the show, when I introduce this to them, they always feel like, oh, it sounds so different. Like, is that me?
Yeah, it's like, wow. You hear someone else say your story. It sounds it's like it touches you in a different way. It's
yes,
really cool.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right. So Samantha, before we go into our questions, I always have to ask this my question. I call it my icebreaker question. Okay. So, I love food and I like to know what other people like too. So maybe I can start cooking that as well. So Samantha, tell me, what is your favorite food?
Well, you and I both love food, so I can't choose one. Okay. So
okay.
I'll name a few. I love street tacos.
Oh,
street tacos are like something I could have every day.
Okay.
Lots of cilantro, boudin, and gumbo. So those are my three.
Okay.
Boudin
I think I know all the foods you've mentioned except the boudin. Can you tell me more about boudin?
Yeah. I guess it's a Louisiana food.
Okay.
I'm born and raised, and I've been eating boudin for a long time. It's encased in intestines, but
okay.
It's rice, lots of like chives and onions and seasonings and meats, and it's all just encased in that. You can make fried boudin balls with it, with like pepper jack cheese in it. It's super unhealthy, but super good. But just regular boudin is pretty healthy. It's just rice and meat and seasoning.
So, wow. Does it take a long time to cook it? It kind of sounds complicated.
No, just like you could throw it on the pit or brown it in the skillet.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not hard. It's like cooking sausage on the pit.
That's interesting. Maybe you'll have to throw in that recipe to me. Let me try it. It sounds very interesting and sounds delicious too. Okay. Awesome. So the other thing I want to ask you, what would you say is your favorite quotes? That's another thing I love. I love quotes. I know a lot of us would love quotes. So what would you say is your favorite quote?
I have so many. I don't know who made the one that I have on my wall. It says, "Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity." I've always felt that, like, it just makes you feel like you're powerful and you have the decision capabilities in your life to make your life the way you want it to be. And I oftentimes look at that when, I feel stuck or feel down about something. I'm like, I am lucky. I just have to always be prepared for that opportunity. And when that opportunity comes, then just take it. Even if you are scared, do it, But I also have, it's super hard for me to choose one of anything.
Yeah.
So, and this has been a struggle for me as well. Like the holistic revival of my holistic wellness has been a challenge. And this quote from Denzel Washington really spoke with me, but some people will never like you because your spirit irritates their demons. And I get emotional just thinking about it, but it's something that really has helped me like see that it's not me. I'm not really the outsider, or I'm not the one that doesn't fit in. It's the other people that feel threatened by that, you know?
Yes.
And yeah, I just get, it's been a roller coaster ride the past decade of my life. And as you can tell, I get super emotional about it. My voice tremors, but it feels good to finally be on the other side, you know?
Yes.
When I kept thinking like, I'm never going to get out of this. I'm never going to get out of
now
this.
you are owning up to it.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I really like that last quote you said, and I can connect to that too as well, because you know, for me, I always call myself recovering people pleaser, and and so you know, when you see some things happening, you feel like, oh, is this something that I did wrong? But then you realize, you know, and me, as we going through stuff, you realize that wait a minute, it's not me. It's just, you know, like you said, some of your things you're doing irritates people, you know, like they just, you know, it's not you, it's just them. That's, you know, yeah.
And it's definitely hard, and it's definitely a different approach than what I've always like the people pleaser in me, you know, wanting to do what everybody else expected of me, or do whatever they want to do and not really look after myself. And that made me lose my discernment for a long time.
Yes.
You know?
That's awesome. Yeah. All right. So this kind of is a good way to segue into our next question. So I want you, Samantha, to share with me the key things that you feel that have shaped you to be the woman you are today. You know, I want you to just go all to tell me your struggles, your victories. You know, it can be from anything, with it from your health, your family, you know, any of that. So let's just go all in and tell me and the guests, and I mean our audience, about that.
I will say, just working in the ICU and just being a part of Western medicine, when you jump in, you're literally jumping in, and it's chaotic, and it can mask everything else in your life. Or it can bring everything down if you aren't connected spiritually with yourself and with your body. And I wasn't for a while, you know. I was trying, but I wasn't doing it right. I was doing what everybody else was doing, and everybody else that I was around, I say everybody, majority, were living a life of chaos. Honestly, there was no downtime. There was not a lot of health, not a lot of positive thinking, and all that. I got caught up in that, you know, and the lack of sleep and the stress and the bad foods all the time, dehydration, all that led to it. It even trickled down to my kids. And that's when my daughter was diagnosed with juvenile rheumatoid arthritis. And all of my relationships pretty much showed the same as well, because I had a lot of self-doubt. I was letting the world control me, and it made me sick. It made my kids sick. It made my marriage poor. There was no communication. And a lot of that has to do with how you feel about yourself on the inside, and your divine connection. And if you don't have that, you're never going to achieve that heaven on earth type feeling, you know? And I guess I still, you know, stubborn and kind of pushing through. This is what life's about. Everybody hurts and everybody's sick all the time, getting chronic sinus infections, you know, and bronchitis because of the stress. I ended up having autoimmune disease, and then my oldest daughter as well a couple years later. So it's just bam, bam, bam. And the communication of my relationships, the respect, the lack of respect I felt I was getting no matter where I turned, or the lack of just someone listening to me, you know, I was starting to lose faith, not really in God, but just in humanity. And I know, like, my faith in God and the power we have within. I mean, that's the only thing that saw me through. And I get so emotional because I don't talk about it. But
okay.
yeah, and I guess people can just see who I am. And I am a person that literally wears my heart on my sleeve. And I'm trying to stay focused on the question that you asked, but I just feel like a decade is really hard to put in just a few minutes. And really, to find yourself, when you start finding who you are, you start knowing a lot more. And you start, you're more consistent, you're more disciplined, you're more strong and stable, and nothing can waver that. And you get to where you just know what you know on the inside. You might not have a science article to back it up, but you just know what you know. And my struggles have led to the wisdoms that I have found. And I'm so thankful for all the struggles now. At the time, it just felt like they were never going to end. But once you start approaching your life in a holistic manner, and that means mind, body, and soul, things just transform, and it's magical, to be honest. And it's like a miracle, and to say that we were all sick all the time on chronic medications, and now none of us are on anything. That's powerful. So, yeah. And I just want to, like, encourage others to do the same. Making that first step is also the hardest because it's something you're not used to, or a lot of people talk bad about it and call, eating healthy pseudoscience. But if it's been proven, how is it pseudoscience? If it's a part of nature, how is it pseudoscience? We're not just making these things up. These are real stories. And some, I used to want to just be in Western medicine. I had all of my faith in my doctors and in the model of the Western, the Western medicine model, and to be let down by that because of the chronic, there's no help in the chronic illness category. It's all idiopathic, and they just leave you with hardly any answers or hope. There's not a lot of hope. People need more hope. and because our minds are super powerful, our bodies are more powerful than we've been led to believe. I've learned that not once, twice, but 3 times with myself and my daughters, just to see what the body can do just from adjusting the lifestyle and what you're eating and the way you sleep and the relaxation techniques you use. There was a while where we would unwind by the TV, or try to unwind by the TV or something that's not really relaxing. I got into where I would put my daughter on the bed and I would rub her feet and just like do like a meditation for her, because her anxiety and her stomach problems were so bad she couldn't enjoy life. And and now they'll ask me, Mama, can you do the relaxation thing? And that has really helped. And it's just holistic. You can't just expect to eat certain foods and feel better. You have to have it in your mind that you are consuming what your body needs to regain that stability and that homeostasis. You have to really believe it and have all the faith that God is showing you every step of the way. And oftentimes in the struggles, he'll show you people and things will just show up when you need them the most. Sometimes we'll ignore it, but they'll come around again. And then you'll kind of get smarter as the time goes by, and you're like, oh wait, this is meant for me let me read this. Let me listen to this person. Let me, listen to this podcast. And that sort of thing. And God's just speaking through people all the time, and we just have to listen. And I was bad at listening. I was just a brain fog, for a very, very long time. And I let life consume me. Instead of me making the life that I wanted, I was letting life just mold me, and we've got to take control of our health in our bodies and our communities and our minds. Otherwise, we're just going to be trapped forever and never really have that faith that there is a brighter side, a greener side, because there is.
Wow. Yeah. That's awesome. Story, there are so many things as we were sharing a story that I could just relate to. It's interesting to you. It was, like you talk about 10 years of, feel like 10 years of suffering or, getting to where you are. And for me, that was one of the things too that I went through, for 10 years. I would say I dealt with a lot of GI problems, chronic constipation, abdominal pain, and it felt like, with my own doctors, nobody was really digging deep to see what was going on with me. And I know it's a frustrating thing too, especially, you as a nurse. I'm you too, I'm a nurse practitioner too. It's like, okay, I can help myself, and, talking about this thing of people saying, healing your body through food and other things of lifestyle, looking at saying it's pseudoscience. I look at it, I was like, why would you say that? Because, it's something that you personally have experienced it. I have experienced it myself. This is not just textbook thing, what it is. And that's why me and you, we are in this holistic realm trying to help more people, like, hey, come to this side and see how this looks, because we have experienced both Western medicine and now you experience this holistic side of medicine. It's like, wow, you can see the difference. And for me too, I dealt with autoimmune disease, through when I found functional medicine, because I was frustrated too. Like I gave up because I had so much hope on the Western medicine too. And like, okay, there should be something else, and, and of course the Western medicine still has its place there, but there is a lot of gaps. And this is where this, functional medicine, holistic medicine thing comes in. And it's amazing when you discover this. And
and I really started losing hope when I felt there was something I could be eating or changing in our lives, but the doctors would tell me that it's no way it's something she's eating that's causing this, or it's no way that you have an allergy that you have. It's idiopathic, but we know that it's nothing you're eating. Do you want to start the Humira this month? And I'm like, I just started seeing you within a few months, and you're already suggesting a long-term medication that might cause cancer. No,
other problems too. Yeah, it's like you're trying to heal one, and then you have to deal with another one, and that's how the medicine load grows.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does. And I knew, I just felt it. Sam, change your eating, like go all the way paleo, all the way. I did autoimmune paleo. I was cleared, like my hives started going away within a week. And I've been struggling for months and months and months. And my angioedema was gone. My fatigue was there for a long time. It took about 9 months doing strict paleo. For everything, I felt restored, it's crazy. And when I told the doctor that it's all gone and I'm eating all these, I'm eating healthy, I'm not eating anything, he just was not happy. He was not happy for me. No congratulations. And that is when I was like, wow, he does not care about me.
No.
And I'm not saying this at all, that every doctor's that way. I'm not. But this one particular made me lose faith in the Western model when it comes to chronic inflammation.
It felt like he was losing a customer. Now that you're better, you might not need him anymore, right?
I guess not.
That is so sad. Yeah.
And that's when I was like, nutrition has really saved me. That's when I knew it. And I was happy I read that book about autoimmune paleo by Dr. Sarah Ballantyne. I believe she had a thyroid problem, and she, I mean, it's a very scientifically in-depth book as well, not just with the diet. It's really interesting. And
what do you call the name again? The name of the book?
Reversing Autoimmune Disease with Autoimmune Paleo. I think AIP.
Oh, okay.
And her name's Ballantyne. It starts with a B. Ball.
Ballantyne. Okay.
But that was the book that I
kind of paved you the way into.
And I don't even know how I found that book. I feel like it found me, you know.
God was listening to your prayers.
Yeah, here you go, read this. It was inspiring, and it was very science-based, so it definitely wasn't pseudoscience.
And here you are today.
Here I am, and I love medicinal mushrooms. I love herbs. I love nutrition. I love variety. I want people to know that it can be sustainable. It can be fun. It can be tasty. And once you really tackle the new way of thinking and eating, it's so easy, and it's so clearing. You know, you feel good. Your body feels in alignment with everything. And your mind is clear. And those are things that I never really thought I would have in my 20s. You know, I feel better now than I did in my 20s. And that's saying a lot. And I actually have a genetic tissue disorder, EDS, and it's actually even helped my joints and my, you know, all that, the issues that I feel like I have with tissues. But I do still get dislocations, but I feel like my recovery is so much better because I hydrate. I take herbals that really help me with muscle tension and eat enough protein to keep my body strong. And really just take it slow and steady, because it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And that's what's going to keep you going and keep you on the new track to transformation in your revival. And to call it a revival is that was the word that really just kept coming to me last year. Revival. This is the revival. This is the revival. Everybody that takes a holistic approach and finally puts faith in that is really going to see a revival and a transformation that they never really thought was possible for themselves and their lives and their communities. And just to try to lead that way, you know. Yes,
absolutely. That is great. Love it. So, you know, so what would you say that's, you know, going through all this stuff in your life, what would you say today that you're most proud as a woman?
I'm proud of my wisdom, because I feel women are very motherly and we have lots of wisdom, and it can be silenced in the, you know, the masculine society of work, overexhaust yourself, you know, ego driven. When you really just let your guard down and approach every day as a learning experience or a gratitude experience, that has really made me a strong, independent woman, but at the same time, a really great wife, you know?
Yes. That's
like
great.
it really creates that polarity that we need, because men need that, and women need to feel empowered in their bodies and in their minds, because we have a lot of medicine and wisdom inside of us, and we can help our husbands, our families, and ourselves really become stronger and even more like open-hearted, and break away the calluses that have been built over the years.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm just proud of the wellness warrior that I've become, because it has shown my daughters how to take health seriously, take health in your own hands, and also just enjoy life, and don't look at your nutritional plan for the time being as a curse or something bad. It's a blessing that you get to choose what you can eat to make your body feel better. Some people won't have that choice, so just to really show them that you have to fight for what you want, and sometimes that's a lonely road, but I'm super proud of the wild woman that I've embraced.
That's great. Awesome. Yeah. And how old are your kids again?
10 and 12.
Okay. Yes, that is so great. And that is something I always talk about too, that, when we are doing stuff for ourselves, helping our bodies heal, all these things in mind, body, and spirit, we're also helping our children, because the children are watching, and there's this thing I always say that actually it was one pastor that said it. He said, children are like moving cameras in your home. They look like they are not watching. So when they are young, they will do what you tell them. And when they get older, they will do what they have seen you been doing. So, yeah. So it's really powerful.
Yeah.
Whatever we should be doing, we should be looking at, what your children, you're doing this for your kids. If you don't have kids, maybe you have kids in future, adopted kids, or even just empowering any young lady somewhere, you never know who is watching, so that is great.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah. Because and not just talking the talk as a parent, but walking that walk, walking that walk of faith, of endurance, resilience, and they're like, oh wow, look what mom did, and look how much how much better we feel.
Yes.
Wow. And they'll even tell me, Mom, I'm not going to have this because I know it makes me feel bad, so I'll rather just have this instead. Or if they do have something that's like junk food, they'll say, I'll just have a little bit, and then maybe I'll have an apple or something, and I'm not forcing it, and it's that's the way it should be, because I don't want them to feel restricted forever,
Yes.
Because when I want them to have the critical thinking and the awareness of what to do if they feel bad, or, if they're sick or anything like that.
Yes. And that is so powerful, because this is one thing a lot of parents will struggle with, I know personally, going through that with my kids too. Like when I make all these changes, like, why are we doing this? Why are we not using this? We used to use this before. It looked like it was good, but trying to educate them and see that, I am doing it, and know that this is not that I'm just trying to force, that they understand that this is for your own good, for your own health, and not because mommy just say so. And it's not easy. And I know a lot of people, because I've had that issue where people will say they want to make changes in their health, but they will say, oh, my husband is not supporting me, or my children are not supporting me, that's why I can't do it. But the thing is that sometimes it's not easy, but you just have to be that example and just keep going, and they will see the change in you. They will see mommy is much happier, mommy is much healthier, and they will finally come. Sometimes it takes time, but it's not to give up, and just keep going with it, and they will finally come along.
Yeah, they will. They really will. And then, you'll catch like all that inspiring you've done for them over the years, and keeping them, they're trying to keep their head up and being positive for them.
Yes.
And showing them, what faith is. And then randomly they'll just tell you things that are inspiring to you. Like you feel like, oh my God, did a 10-year-old just say that? Did my 11 and 12-year-old just say that to me?
Yes.
Like that feels like a message from God. And they know how much I care. And I talk to so many people about their health and educate. And the other day, my daughter, like, I wasn't sad. Haven't been sad with my business or anything like that. I'm just taking it as it comes. I know what I know, and I feel good about who I am and where I am. I feel good, and I'm not pushing anything. My daughter just gave me a hug the other day. She said, Mama, I love you, and your business is going to do so good. You're helping so many people. And I was just like, it random out of nowhere.
Wow.
And I was just like, and I wasn't even like stressed or worried that day. It just literally came from her mouth out of nowhere.
They watching. I was just
like, yeah,
that is awesome.
And so, they've been my biggest inspiration.
Yes, that is great. Wow. So what would you say, as we're going towards rounding up this podcast episode, what are some encouraging words you want to give our listeners today, to this woman listening to us or anybody else here? So just kind of share with us here.
Yeah. Stop listening to all the noise and start breathing and really sitting in silence, and the wisdoms will come to you. What you need is there. Like, what you need at this moment is within you. You have to silence the outside. You have to try to silence your mind, as hard as it is. But if you're able to really discipline yourself with like a daily breathing and prayer and a new discipline of eating habits. It doesn't have to be cold turkey. It could just be, slowly taking things off. But if you do that for days on end, if you do daily breathing and prayer and slow changes in your nutrition, you can't think that you're not going to see results. I mean, the results, it's inevitable that you will see an improvement in your quality of life. You just can't give up on yourself. You can't let other people influence you, saying, oh, that's not going to work. I've done that and it didn't work for me. Well, a lot of the times people don't try it as long as they say they have. They haven't done it as strictly or as disciplined as they should have. And they oftentimes derail other people because they give them that false information, and it makes people feel hopeless. And when you make people feel hopeless, that's like the death of society. And we need that hope. And look out to people like Gaby or myself to really help you stay on track and uplift you, because we are the people that have been there and we are living proof of it. Don't listen to people that aren't living the life that you envision yourself as, or if they aren't the epitome of health that you envision for yourself, don't listen to them. You've got to raise your standards some and really quiet out the negativity, because it will drown you. So it would drown you and it keep you really pulled down. And so just listen, quiet down, listen to yourself. The wisdoms are within. The encouragement is all around you. You just have to look for the right communities. And yeah, just stay on the course, stay on the path. I always say the path to your transformation is the path of most resistance. And I've said that a few times. And, you've heard quotes of saying the path of least resistance, but if you meet the most resistance, most likely that's the way you need to go. Yeah.
Yes.
And like I said, the word revival, even even on the days that you feel like giving up and throwing in the towel, just keep saying revival, revival. Revival is an improvement in the condition or strength of something. And that's exactly what you're doing with yourself and your life. And that's the revival. And you got to keep that in your mind. And sometimes just having one word to focus on will really help you see through the next day. You know, we're not going to always feel 100% every day, but take what you have and give yourself some grace. Some days you won't feel like doing the things you need to do, but don't beat yourself up about it, but do stay on course, and commit to that resilience and commit to that new path, and know that it's going to restore your body and your soul and your life, and even relationships. The way you have connected and really loved yourself, people will start loving you that way, and they will also start loving themselves the way that you showed respect to yourself and to them. And it really changes the relationship. Relationships that you often felt like would come to an end, you know, but once you get into that new abundance and that new revival, people that are meant to stay, and they grow as well, even though they're not doing all the work that you're doing. They're growing because you're growing. And just keep doing it, keep going, and don't give up on yourself.
That's great. Awesome. I hope you guys are listening and writing all this down. That is great, Samantha. I think, it's a lot of things to, not that word, not giving up, because, there's this thing, I don't know, it's a quote. They say, I never fail. I learn or I win.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And don't fall backwards, fall forward.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
You fall, you get up again and keep going again,
Yeah.
So that's great. Wow. So, Samantha, how can people connect with you? Do you have any freebies, anything you're working on that's the audience you would like the audience to know about? All that, can you tell us?
Yeah. I have if you go to my Instagram, it's called @the Wonder Woman of Wellness. My link tree is under my Instagram, but Instagram's like the best way to kind of get in touch, stay in touch with me and see my life and my inspiration. So connect with me there. That's the easiest and fastest way. You can join my email list, which I'm working on. Again, I'm also working on a different website, and I'll be offering my herbs, like my herbal supplements.
Oh, awesome.
My teas, my capsules, bath salts that are really good for your detoxing in your body, and my apparel. I'll show you.
Oh, awesome. So, that's great.
So I'll have my apparel on there too. So it'll be like shirts and hoodies and jogging pants, maybe some caps. And that's what I'm working on right now.
Oh, wow. You busy, girl.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So I'm going to have the link of Samantha's Instagram. If you're watching it on YouTube, you will see it on the description area there. And if it's on other platforms like Apple, it will be on the show notes. So you can connect with her there and see what she got for you guys. Yes.
Yeah. And I also do have like a free, if they message me, I can give them my cookbook.
Oh, okay.
It's just like some of my favorite gluten-free recipes that I've made. So
okay, that would be a great one. A lot of people, get confused, like which one. So that might be a place for them to start. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So wow, this is great. Thank you, Samantha, for coming today. And I'm so glad for you sharing all these things with us. And I'm sure we've learned a lot today. Yes. Yeah.
it's my passion, and it's very near and dear to my heart. I get super emotional just talking about my journey. But I hope I didn't make this too damp, but I really want people to see that it's a true revival, and that is a lot of tears and a lot of callous emotions that have been just released, and I'm still like releasing it, you know. And
but there is hope. Years. There is hope.
Yeah, there is hope, and and just know, like, I don't cry all the time. I laugh a lot. I love to laugh, and I love Gaby, and I always have. We've connected, you know, a couple of years ago, but you're always just a smiling, and you're always just a light, and keep lighting the way.
Thank you. Same here too with you. I've known Samantha for all these years, and we've kind of still connected, and I just, love seeing your journey and just all the things you do, just inspire me too as well. So yes.
Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, this comes to the end of this episode today. And I'm going to end it with my favorite quote from Maya Angelou that says, when you know better, you do better. So until then, I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.